just a week and a half after the release of Le Mans Ultimate, we have news of a new endurance-based racing sim. This surprise announcement from the former developers of the WRC games could well change the landscape of the sim racing market, and exciting news as well with potential console use. We are going to be discussing this surprising new announcement on This Week on the Late Apex, along with obviously previewing iRacing Rain and all the content that's coming to the sim, looking ahead to this week on Apex Racing Team as well, and looking at Apex Racing TV, Apex Racing Simulators, and Apex Racing League as well. Once again, I am Sam Fitzpatrick, and I have David Sampson here as well. And yeah, pretty exciting news, honestly, David. I mean, it's been a frustrating couple of years when it comes to sims, because we think, oh, this sim's coming, and then it doesn't really come. Le Mans Ultimate, IndyCar, the BTCC game, Rensport. And but this is pretty exciting news that we could have genuinely another new sim to go with, obviously Assetto Corsa 2 with the new GTR Revival game. This one looks quite promising as well.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it has been a rough run because it almost felt like what's wrong with our gaming industry. Because obviously we are just a gaming industry. We call it a sim, but it's an industry, a category within the game sphere. And every game sphere has lots of competitive games that are fighting each other for dominance. And it almost feels that we just don't enjoy that line of thought. But yeah, Rensport perhaps didn't hit all of its targets. I mean, it's still there. It has its vision for esport first, which is not an approach we're used to. But I mean, fast forward 5-6 years, let's see how it works out for them. Whereas iRacing's more, you know, it's the little guy and up, which can frustrate us, but it worked for them. But then, yeah, we've seen Le Mans Ultimate hit it out of the park, I think.
And we will be discussing more about Le Mans Ultimate, as we will do with every week as we. But
yeah, and then we've got Assetto Corsa 2 on the horizon. Now, I mean, Assetto Corsa, I mean, people might be mistaken that it's still, I would say, pound for pound, the most popular racing title for PC.
Sure, yeah.
I think because we in terms of multiplayer competitive drivers, like the kind of sphere we're in, iRacing's king. But not everyone does that. Not everyone, that's not what the majority are doing. The majority just like doing laps in a car at a track, and there's probably no better sim than, say, Assetto Corsa to do that in. So Assetto Corsa 2 on the horizon. Yeah, so I think there's a lot to be looked forward to. We've got a lot of exciting things, and rounding this back to iRacing, which is our first subject, but that's it. It's been good, the competition, because I've seen in the last 6 months to a year, iRacing really step up car contracts, licenses, updates, rain, Tempest. I mean, this is why we want competition.
Absolutely. Well, I think seeing that the video title is to do with the endurance game, we'll go endurance, even though that's contradictory to our notes. Because this is the one that I'm particularly curious about.
I'm very excited for this. So we've got a video for you.
This is a video. It doesn't really show anything. It's like a render of potentially not in-game footage.
I think it's a Porsche.
It is a Porsche.
LMDH and a Porsche GT3R, I think we're looking at on the YouTube video.
It could be any Porsche from the last 50 years, but, you know.
Oi, oi, oi.
That's as edgy as I ever get. Yeah, there it is. Some race as a driver. I think the next thing is win as a team?
Yeah.
Win as a team.
So, I don't know if we've even mentioned the name of this. It's Endurance Motorsport Series. As you can see, they're coming 2025. And as you can see, you cannot show those logos willy-nilly without licenses. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Steam. Now, the article I read was that, I may be mistaken, but I think I saw simultaneous release, i.e. they're not planning on releasing a PC game on, we promise we'll get to console if 1 million of you buy it, and we'll hire a team. They're promising console, which would be, when was the last game? ACC, I suppose. But ACC was always, like, we update the PC version, and then we sort of update.
Well, we've got news on that later on as well.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's just say that now ACC have released their GT2 pack for console this week.
So still similar way.
A month ago.
Yeah, it's still always playing catch up. But yeah, so this game this new sim is called Endurance Motorsport Series. They seem to obviously focus on the GTP. Well, I don't want to say GTP because that assumes IMSA, but the LMHDH
Yeah, yeah. The WEC cars.
The WEC cars, yeah. LMH, LMP2, and then I suppose LMGT3s then? That would be correct?
Yeah. I don't think they'll be too fussy about it. But yeah,
No.
some kind of GT3. Do you think this will work? Because if you're going to make a racing game nowadays, you need a USP. And you can look at all the sims and you can say that's the USP. ACC obviously has the GT3 license. That is the most popular car class.
Mhm.
And obviously the graphics are spectacular. And yeah, it's an all-round good sim. Obviously, iRacing, you mentioned earlier on, Rensport, more the esports route of things. You got games like Assetto Corsa and Project Cars, where it's just a full roster of cars. Do you think going down the route of managing your own team is that the way to go in terms of sim? Do you think that's enough of a USP to get people away from other sims?
There is one element to all this that I like. iRacing has IMSA. That's why we have the GTP, the LMP2, and GT3s. Le Mans Ultimate has WEC. That's why we have those cars. But if they've got, by the looks of it, they've got access to the LMHs, the LMP2 and GT3s, they've announced, so they've got those. So we're assuming they've got tracks in the cars, and now they're not held back by a nag that we have in sim racing by IRL rules and IRL's situation. So they can give us formats that iRacing can't. Like, for example, in iRacing, IMSA, we have the 45-minute and the 2.4. We do not break from those formats because that's what they do IRL. And with WEC, same situation. So mightn't it be nice to not be held down by a restriction such as a license that you're based on? So what I'm saying is if they've got the tracks and they've got the cars, plus they have the element of freedom.
I get it, but iRacing don't have to do that length races. They could do any length races.
I heard, on the forums about a year ago when they were talking about the 2.4, people were getting a bit like, yeah, it's a team race, but it's only solo length. And someone, I can't, I'd have to dig up, maybe someone can find it. I remember an iRacing staff member saying basically, between the lines, look, it is what it is. That's what we can do. Like,
Okay.
It's
Okay.
It's 2.4, 2.4 nothing.
Maybe you're right. Yeah.
2.4 nothing. Because I believe they always wanted to make it solo, but they've only recently been able to, I think, due to, maybe they were like, look, IMSA, do you want the series to decline or do you want it to increase? Give us let people run it solo.
Sure. Yeah. This is from B Sim Racing, this article. And they mentioned, during the Nacon Connect live stream, this was when it was announced, Kiloton used to do the WRC games until very recently, before Codemasters began taking over their French developer. And they're using the same engine, it seems, as the previous games. I think 15 games, they mentioned, have been developed with this physics engine. So, it's quite commonly used. Albeit, I'll get to that in a moment. But here is the quote. I won't read through all of it, but maybe the first. What's the most interesting paragraph of this? I think the second one. Endurance Motor Series provides unique gameplay in which the way you adapt your decisions and race strategy to events, in brackets, instance, weather, etc., is just as important as your driving skills. You will have to find the best balance between speed and consistency in your search for victory. The question I have, don't we already have this? Like in every other sim, you have an element of this.
Okay, maybe this person's an avid iRacing user because I would say in endurances, I think at the top level, it's a repetition.
Yeah, but rain's coming soon.
Well, yes, but to their point, rain is not here. But then again, their game's not here either. So
it just seems like such an effort where they're talking about these fairly, honestly, small things.
Correct.
Weather and reacting maybe to safety cars. Correct. Wouldn't it be easier to already have a sim and then add those elements? Because they're not going to have to build iRacing and then add those strategy elements, if you get what I mean. It just seems like a small element to add on to what needs to overall be a huge game. Okay,
so you said USP or the focus. Let's look at it this way. iRacing, predominantly sprint, and junior category, medium category, and then work up to endurances. And there's endurances every weekend and special events a few times a year. LMU seems very similar. There's no big announcements on big endurances yet. I mean, you can't even do a team event in LMU yet. This game not only has got the word endurance in their title, their focus seems to be endurance cars, endurance mindset, weather, strategy, team. I mean, at least like we talked about Rensport doing esport first, they're doing endurance first. Like,
But do you think people are going to go over to that rather than do iRacing special events?
no comment. No, I don't know.
I-
I agree. They're trying.
I don't want to be, and obviously it's nice that they've got a USP as well, because like Rensport's USP is a little bit murky at the moment
correct.
in terms of, is it actually going to work for them, the whole, and I've spoken about it in the past, the marketplace where they want people to be buying and selling stuff and have a whole, you know, network online, and it seems like it hasn't really ever kicked off, partially because people are very skeptical of that type of stuff. Whereas maybe this is a bit more promising, but it just seems like such an effort. And so many other things have to be good. They can't just have it so that the strategy element is good. The tire model has got to be good. The damage model has got to be good. And it just seems like it's so much effort to build a game. See how tough, you know, Le Mans Ultimate has been, taken years to make, and there's only got like 5 tracks at the moment and about 10 cars. They've got to do all of that.
I get, although that's my only point. Those tracks and cars, they're held back by their license. Because that's the 2023 content. That's all they're allowed. They can't add another track because that's their license. That's what I'm saying. Maybe an element of freedom might be brilliant.
I guess.
I get your point.
No, I think you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry for being dismissive if I am. But
yeah, they're watching this like, the hell, Sam? Like, we're building you a game.
No, but yeah, I'm skeptical.
No, and you have every right to be. You know, this has been...
If it's a good game in every other aspect, then sure, I love this stuff.
Correct.
But this isn't enough to have a game. And like, if it was like a Motorsport Manager, then yeah, that's something. But like, I don't know. Yeah. I just don't understand how much extra they could add compared to other sims already.
It smells like Porsche money, though, so that's a good thing. It's a good start.
What, because it's unlimited money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just go and go, we tried, come with another year. And they're like, yeah, well then...
Fine, we'll sell another 10 Porsches.
I'm thinking of building a game. Yeah, Porsche, I'm building a sim game. Before they're halfway through speaking, they just give me a briefcase.
Yeah.
Okay, but only feature Porsches on your trailers. Sure. All I'm going to make is a trailer, to be honest, Porsche.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's see.
But the developers are very good, to be fair.
Correct.
I'm sure they'll make something good. But
well, yeah, they have an engine, proven engine, 15 games. The last one was good. I don't know much about this Kiloton
I'm
tech.
actually not aware of other games that they've done.
Oh, please don't Google bad games. I just know the first result's gonna be a shocker.
I mean, I'm not sure if these are... Oh, no, these
What
are
about
racing games.
Toka, things like that.
Toka was Codemasters, wasn't it?
Test Drive Unlimited. Test drives were good back in the day. I mean, I didn't drive very sim-related.
WRC Generations, so that was the last WRC game. WRC... Oh, sorry, I should be showing this. Here we go. So, Test Drive Unlimited, WRC. Tourist Trophy Isle of Man. I remember seeing a little bit of talk about
I watched some on YouTube, yeah.
WRC V-Rally. Not sure what that is. Same thing again. WRC. And that was when they launched.
So it's
a
a
lot of
WRC engine.
WRC games. Hang on, they said 15 games have been made with this engine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I think 4 other games maybe have been made with the...
And 4 they're not proud of.
Yeah. Well, maybe by other developers, I don't know.
True. It doesn't have to be themselves.
So, yeah, we'll see.
But yes, hello to everyone in chat who's joining us on YouTube chat. Hey, Nick. Hey, DeVille. Hey, Anders Meyer. Hey, Zach. Jonathan.
Yeah, DeVille says, think about how well F1 Manager went. People preferred it to the actual F1 game. So, yeah, that's a fair point.
4 a week.
Yeah, I bought it, actually.
4 a week.
I didn't play it.
Yeah, I played it for a day. People on Twitch played it for a week. It was popular, but then it was over.
I don't know. Games are weird, aren't they? Like, something needs to tick in your brain, which is like, yes, I'm going to put
You
effort
need
into this.
a skill number that's tied to your sanity. Because
Exactly.
then you wake up and you think, I need
Yeah.
more rating.
My day can only be good if I increase this number.
Correct. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's on the horizon. I think they listed 2025 for its release. So we're looking forward to seeing it in 2026, hopefully.
That's ambitious. It's really ambitious. Now I've got faith in these guys. They don't seem to be doing a whole lot else. They got that solar crown, although that's delayed by massive, hasn't it? That was meant to be out last year. Still hasn't been released.
Oh, yeah.
Crown. So yeah, maybe that's not a good sign. Shall we move on?
Sure.
iRacing next up. We have had a bunch of rain teasers. I'm not sure if there's much point in us showing it, but we may as well. Oh, sorry, it was on. I went on their YouTube, but it was actually on their Instagram, which was the rain teasers.
Before we show the video, I want you to think about your poor GPU because the quality is insane. Like me and John were talking about. Look at how the ripples interact with other ripples.
Yeah.
Do we have sound?
Oh, sorry.
Because this is ASMR contact. This. Looks like Audi paid the bill for rain, which is strange because I don't know Audi are paying any money anymore. Look at that.
No sign of this rain stopping.
Are we going to see cones floating down the track?
Yeah, I mean, it's a question how far do you take it, right?
Now, I highly assume, I mean, this picture alone, I'll continue what I'm saying.
Look at the shadows.
The reflections. Oh, my God.
Oh, sorry, the reflections.
Yeah, no, I mean, the spray. Yeah, I mean, there is no, look at that. This is definitely, hopefully, the replay mode because I'm going to say iRacing of all the sims is very simple texturing. And if you see 5 shadows at Daytona, you know your FPS is about to drop 90 when you enter the bank and off the oval, entering the oval. I can't even imagine about ray traced reflections with unifying ripples and shadow. Like, I want to know how it's going to look, you know, with 50 cars on the track and triple multi-class, and that I do need at least 120 FPS, etc., etc., etc.
I mean, it's a weird thing because actually, I was going to say it doesn't matter, but it does matter for you because you stream, and you know it is important that you make it look good, and you don't want to sacrifice other stuff as well in order to
100%.
I'm
glad you see what pain us streamers go through.
It's a tough job, but I'd say for the average user, like as long as you can turn it down, as long as it's not too bad. As long as you can feel the rain.
Well, we want to see puddles. Reflections is a good way of seeing puddles. That's the ironic. How else do you notice a build-up of water on the inside of an apex without a reflection?
But you could almost, you could almost botch it, where you can almost make it, I guess, where there are no reflections, but you can see where it's just like
shimmering.
Yeah, it's sort of shimmering, but like fake because it's not actually reflecting the light, but it's just like a shimmer on the actual puddle, just so that everyone can see the puddle, you know?
For anyone who's got iRacing open, who's sat in their rig, you can actually go through your graphics set, and there is like, I think it's called SSR or something. You can actually customize your rain reflections right now. It's been in the sim for like a build and a half now. So I think you can like choose medium, you can choose the level of rain reflections, but I mean, it looks way above what I expected it to look.
Yeah.
Which is concerning to me. Because, like, look at their HDR implementation. I mean, I got disagreed with. Last time I was on this podcast talking about HDR, it was a complete disagreement. But for me, if you take away the God ray and the decent-looking Instagram filter, that's all you're getting. It is don't get me wrong, it's a good Instagram filter and a God ray. But that is it, fundamentally. The reason I run HDR is for the night. It really improves the shadow texturing and the levels of black and everything. But yeah, so this is concerned to me on the FPS hit. People were worried about CPU and GPU, and mostly my thing's been, it'll be okay. They're probably going to add droplets to the window. You'll see droplets forming. You'll probably see particles coming down. When you're driving, they'll be coming at you. When you're braking, they'll move away a little bit. Very simple. And yeah, we'll see puddles and water movement. I did not, for the life of me, expect they've spent time working on ripples.
Yeah.
Each raindrop, every raindrop impacts the puddle. Didn't expect that.
I mean, to be fair, the graphics department have probably been waiting on the physics department for like the last 3 years and just being like, you know, we had this ready to go 3 years ago. What are we going to add? I don't know, most accurate ripple affecting all of gaming. I don't know. Yeah, let's spend our time doing that.
So what blows my mind, am I going to have the problem of, because I have the HDR like maxed out, not only am I going blind from the God rays, is the God ray going to reflect in a puddle and now I'm double blind?
Sure. Yeah.
Like I've got all this. No, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see how it works. But we need the fundamentals right. The racing line should be the slipperiest.
The physics is the only thing that matters. Like once again, we're getting carried away in terms of the graphics and of course the other thing that people have been talking about is how it's going to be implemented. In reality, the physics is what matters. I was going to mention it later on with Le Mans Ultimate, but it feels appropriate. I tried Rain on Le Mans Ultimate. It's rubbish. It's like just 30% less grip. The puddles make no difference.
The puddles look epic.
You can see the puddles. You drive through the puddles. It's exactly the same as off the puddles. It's just a universal, just less grip. And then the curbs are the most grippy part. You make a beeline for the curbs and you get extra traction by driving on the curbs.
A curb in the rain should be so slippery that you shouldn't touch it.
At least most cars. I appreciate sometimes you can have it so that, you know, there might be tire build up. You might the way that it's like jagged might cause some extra like traction, but like it's just really basic. And I was very disappointed by it, honestly.
Nick Horn in chat is saying they bigged up the water flow into drains, started talking about like this. It gives me hope, but the problem is that is what Le Mans Ultimate does. But you just don't.
Does Le Mans Ultimate? I know ACC does it.
No, what I mean is Le Mans Ultimate does the visualization said drainage and build ups. I mean, it looks legit.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't do anything.
No, yeah.
So iRacing could be right. It's like, look at this. We've built up the puddle and you can see it draining away. Yes, but when I drive over it, it's not there.
Like the test will be, you know, when you get your outside tire on a puddle,
correct,
you should have that slide. You know,
it should go left because if your lefts have left grip and you're right, it should jimmy to the left.
But like, you find it in karting, for example. You go through a puddle and you literally like, it's almost like you're braking. You know?
Yes,
and it's it's almost like that. So yeah, that'll be a test. Drive through a puddle and see if it feels different. So it would be fascinating, and you know, it's a big thing. I'll be gutted if it's just like Le Mans Ultimate Rain. All this hype and all it is just 30% less rain, 30% less grip.
I agree. That's how it feels. Light rain, 30% left. Medium rain, 40% left. Heavy rain, 8%.
We need to hope that iRacing isn't the same thing. Like,
correct.
I'll be really disappointed.
Hello, Leonard in chat. Will the current F4 league get wet race as well?
I don't think F4 is getting rain, is it?
It is.
Oh, is it? Okay, not this
Yes,
season.
then. He said...
Oh, well, no, actually, it depends what the official series does. Whatever the official series does, we do.
Everything. So, Tempest is Tempest, right? They're not turning... If iRacing are like...
Tempest off, no.
Correct. If iRacing does this, where they're like, oh, no, D classes, we promise that those clouds will just avoid the track. It's like, come on, this is weather, not rain.
Sure, yeah.
So Sam's here confirming that, yes, the F4 League will have storms.
Well, I don't know what the iRacing schedule's going to be like, you know. I don't know.
Hello, Brian in chat.
We copy the ARA data packs. So whatever the data packs are like.
Brian in chat said, just don't put yourself in sunrise or sunset stints, David. Correct. Brian, I ran the Bathurst 12 with.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that didn't go fantastic.
Nick Horn, I recommend trying GT7 wet race on PS5. It's pretty, it's pretty amazing considering it's a console title. I mean, I've got it at home. There's a cool video of me getting it working with Hussenfeld pedals and a Simicube DD using a soldering iron, a lot of wires, 2 boxes, 2 controllers. But I tricked it into believing these were controllers.
Sure.
Full force feedback. It is, looks. It's like we are talking iRacing. It's going to be in 2040 by the time it looks this good. Yeah. It was fun. I have it downstairs on a controller now, and I just sometimes do a Brands Hatch race in a little fun little light car, and it's pretty cool. Yeah. Nick Horn's asking how would data packs work with mixed weather.
I don't know, Nick.
That's a downstairs problem.
Yeah, it's not our department.
It's not our department. That's downstairs to worry about. Yeah. Basically, they have to work twice as hard for the same money, I think. Yeah. It's fair.
Yeah.
It's not our fault.
Come on, it's a nice job, innit? You know? So, we'll see how they get on with that. But yeah, it might be a lot of work, eh? I've lost where we were.
Well, you can't change the wing levels, so it is just. It's tricky. It's not. And you can't change the setup, so it's just what you start with. Like, really, I suppose it's a start. Like, but you can't just have a starting set either, because if you start with a super.
Do you think fixed setup series are going to double in popularity because people like, can't be bothered to have a wet and a dry set?
Correct.
I'm just going to do the fixed.
Yeah.
Everyone's in the same boat.
I
quite
think we all.
literally.
I mean, fixed Porsche Cup has overtaken Porsche Cup.
Sure. But all the fixed series are more popular than the open, right?
They are no GT.
Maybe GT3, but even then,
GT3s can be skewed just because there's less cars. So people are like, oh, the soft's higher. It's like, yeah, but there's 35% less cars, so the soft is manipulated a little higher. That's all. But yeah, fixed series are killing it, absolutely, for good reason.
Yeah. Shall we move on? I don't think there's much point in previewing necessarily the other stuff that's coming up in the build, because we're going to be
well, we've
reviewing
covered
next
it
week.
2 weeks ago. We're going to be talking about it next week.
So-
You all know a big updates on the horizon.
If people in chat have a specific question for us,
Yeah.
let us know. But like
Tuesday.
we're not going to focus too much on it. We'll find out on Tuesday, right?
Correct.
Obviously, Super Formula Light is announced, but yeah, we knew that 2 weeks ago.
We do have a video though.
Yeah, do you want to show it?
I think we should show the video.
Fine, we'll show it. I haven't actually seen the video.
Well, good time for you to see it.
Oh,
So
man,
this
it's too
is the Delara 393.
long. It'll probably says in the description.
I forget the name.
Delara 324.
Yeah, see, that's what I said, sort of. I heard rumblings it's going to replace the F3, but I don't believe the rumblings.
To be fair, actually, I was speaking to you earlier on, actually, and I was saying, oh, well, the F3 is still used. But it's not used, is it? It's
No.
extinct. So, yeah, it would be good if it did. Because this is the Formula Regional car, which I think is sort of the closest thing to what we had to Euro F3, because Euro F3 sort of died.
How can a new car not get rain?
How can the Porsche Cup not get rain when we have
Oh.
screenshots of it in the rain a year ago?
I have. It's not. I cannot believe they missed off the Porsche Cup.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't have many medium speed open wheelers in iRacing. Only the F3, the USF 2000, the Indy Pro, the Formula 3, the Formula 4, and Formula 3.5. We're running low on
Yeah.
on that class of Formula car. But no, it'd be good.
So clearly being just part of that agreement to get the Super Formula in. But hopefully they could do something like Super Formula, spend 100 grand on hosting a series on iRacing. I don't know, make it Japanese drivers only, that would be
Correct.
alright. Or anything, but, make an esports competition out of it. Get people driving the car, it'd be cool.
Nick Horn in chat is saying Pay Cup will be delayed rain to after PESC. And I have to say, that is what we all agree as well.
Yeah, which is silly. Just don't use it in PESC.
Yeah, imagine 10K drivers crying so hard that we have to wait for rain.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the last dig I have make at 10K drivers.
Yeah.
they can't get me. I'm not on the track right now. But yeah, it's madness that the pinnacle in iRacing,
It's just, yeah. Let's hope that they don't shy away from using it for Sebring, eh?
Oh no, I'll hold a public rally against them if they.
Well, yeah, you had a rant about this 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. Honestly, they
No.
better not. It's raining at Sebring.
Yeah.
It's gonna rain.
Sure.
Okay, moving on.
I think the biggest announcement when it comes to iRacing is iRacing and TCR.
Correct.
Which is an exciting agreement. I'm not sure, and I maybe should have looked at this beforehand, but I thought TCR and Racefilm were quite close. It's only when Racefilm launched a few years ago.
The only problem is I don't think Raceroom have any money.
Sure.
That might be holding
We
them back.
don't cover Racefilm much on this, do we? We're not every week going, new update to Racefilm. And I think the last time we covered it, it may have been like, oh yeah, they've added some liveries for this year's cars. They haven't even added like the new cars, but they've added some liveries to the cars. So maybe TCR have had enough. So iRacing and WSC. WSC, what's WSC? I'm not sure. It seems like it's like the esports wing, like the official esports wing of TCR. But it's a bit of an odd website, it looks like. We will go to that in a bit. It's not really much given away, is there, on this? But it's just they're going to work together and do some esports stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully it gives some life back into touring car.
Mm.
Because obviously it took a real beating. Alan in chat, who you know, used to drive TCRs a lot, but the newer update to TCR made the car just quote unquote worse to drive. And then they ditched it from the GT4 paired series, IMSA. What was it called back then?
Mission and Pilot.
Mission Pilot. And then they made a Mission and Pilot, a weekend only thing, and I don't think it ever bounced back from that.
Sure.
A lot of dedicated drivers who really cared about it just got, bit of a shame. But hopefully this can inject some life into it.
So the website that WSC haven't, this is why I'm a little bit skeptical of this, because this, on the left, we've got just the link to the TCR website. This ETCR link is just ETCR website. And then this is the virtual part. And so we can go into this. Weirdly, there's an extra button to actually go to the webpage, which isn't a great start. And then supported by simracing.gp, who are very good, league hosters and stuff, help, organize leagues for very many different competitions. But all of this stuff is like from 2021. So they can see October 29, 2021. And it seems like introducing TCR Virtual on simracing.gp, and I can't see anything that kicked off from it. Now, I might be wrong, and feel free to correct me on this, people in the YouTube chat. But like this, I'm trying to get anything from this page, but it's like, hey, you can win prizes, you can do this. But I think it's all years old. So I'm not really sure what this website is.
Yeah, I agree.
And these are the people who have teamed up with iRacing.
Plus, I'm not sure if this is sort of a brand representation or is it an esports thing? Like what?
I think it's an esports thing, yeah.
Okay.
That seems to be what these people are doing. But of course, this is actually on the simracing.gp website, I should say, who host different leagues for different companies.
We don't have the official touring car license. That's not what this is.
I don't know, because obviously on the WSC website you got a link to TCR, which indicates that it's the esports wing of, it's like the official esports, TCR Esports organizer.
Yeah, okay.
But
it's just
nowhere
not clear
saying that we got the license.
Yeah, it's just not as clear cut as we'd probably like.
And it's not as though were iRacing saying that they're going to add, in addition, any future TCR cars to join iRacing roster or carry the TCR branding as well. So yeah, it's just a bit. We'll see, but yeah, how it copes.
Yeah, I say fingers crossed it can just inject a bit of life, because it has its own fixed series and open series. Like, it's matured enough on iRacing. It's just participation just got kicked out the window when the cars got harder to drive and it got ditched out of the Mission and Pilot.
So watch this space for iRacing and TCR. Maybe there'll be a cool esports series lined up next year. Maybe we'll have a TCR license, on iRacing to accompany the GT license and the single seater license we now have.
Yep, that'll be good.
I think that covers that. I've already mentioned ACC GT2, and I've already mentioned Le Mans Ultimate Rain. Any updates from yourself when it comes to Le Mans Ultimate? What are your thoughts after a week and a half now of having it? It feels weird that it's only been out for a week and a half. It feels like it's been out for a month.
For me, it's been longer because I've racked up 40 hours of seat time, which is a lot.
Yeah.
I was doing 8 hours a day every day. So when it's working and I'm in the throes of it, some of the best racing I've ever had in sim racing. I'm going to say it's some of the best fun I've had in sim racing in a long time. Really good contact model, really great graphics. It's very fun to drive. The tyres don't melt after 10 seconds. I've had a lot of fun. On the flip, the other 20 hours of my seat time, I have been doing Le Menu Ultimate, and I've been stuck in menus, lagging, bugging, closing, forced closing. I've had the pit bug twice. The pit bug being on the last lap of the race, when the leader crosses the line, sometimes the game decides that you'll teleport to the pits and not finish.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a frustrating bug. It's right at the end of the race. Last corner at Monza. On a comeback, last corner, boom, gone from the game. They've published on their Discord like, oh, we think this is how you fix it.
It's like from the previous race,
Correct.
isn't it? If you tow back after you've finished the race
Correct.
and don't drive back to the pits, then it can mess up your next race.
So they advise just waiting 30 seconds. So the bugs are really, really bad. I'm not going to undersell it. Like if you get a few of the bugs early in, you'll probably end up refunding it because it's a showstopper. But you can work around them. But I say I've got like 40 hours of experience. So for me, it took a long time to work out how to best avoid the bugs. I was almost practicing this more than the tracks. I mean, I've done maybe 7 officials now where I had 0 practice because I couldn't get in the car. One time, I was late to grid because of bugs. As I hit the grid button, I was like, no, because I knew I'd hit the grid button too soon because I could see everything loading and it hadn't quite finished. And I knew I'd induced the bug. And this bug's brilliant. You grid, but your driver doesn't. The car's there and you're on like roof cam.
Sure.
There's no driver in the car and you can't control it. And the only way to fix it, exit, and then play menu roulette to hopefully get back in time for quali. So this is me making it sound bad because it's frustrating. But one viewer, I forget who, reminded me of something because I've been enjoying myself, but they reminded me that of all the problems, at least it's the sim and the racing and stuff that works good. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, it's recoverable.
The important stuff works.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, all we need to fix is the tyre model and all that. No. When it's working, it's fantastic. I've had some fantastic battles. Cars sound great, looks great. The tracks are fun. Spa's the most beautiful scan of Spa I've ever driven.
Yeah, I had a real nice race actually at Spa in the LMPTs actually, and just had like a good fight, like 5 guys, just racing it along, and had some good battles. Yeah, just being able to dip into it quite easily. And yeah, I really like. I know I've driven so much iRacing. It's just nice to have the slip angle and be like, oh, I've got a slide. I'll save it.
Correct.
I'm still driving.
Monza,
like a slide on Eau Rouge, and like it's fine.
Monza T1, T2 has been. I've done 10, 15 races. You go into one, you lean on each other, and you're like, wait, what's this? And you both turn into 2. You lean on each other, and you're like, wait, this is how it looks on television. Yeah. Like, what just happened? Like, why aren't I over the catch fence from that touch? Like, iRacing's almost like, you're like, don't touch me. Like, I'm nervous. Like, don't. And you always get flung onto the sand out too. And and then, to be honest, by the time you recover in iRacing, it's like, meatball. Wait, come on, hold on. We were both, our relative speed to each other was less than a mile an hour, and he bumped me. I've gone on the gravel, and now you give me a meatball. So I enjoyed myself. Nick Corn in chat, Emily and John both got kicked from the same race the other day. Yeah, I mean, I did quite a few races with Emery. It can be frustrating. Me and Yuri got kicked. Like we're, like moments from the finish, and we both end up in pits, and it's frustrating. But like I say, if they can just fix the bugs, but I will say one more good bad. This is what my review of Le Mans Ultimate's been. This like a yin yang. The ying's very powerful though, and the yang's very powerful.
Well, it's an honest review.
Correct, and so they are putting out lots of patches and really quickly. I think they've done 5, and that's blowing me away. And they're being very communicative with the community. My problem. So the yang, that was the yin. Like really impressed. Like, oh my god, 5 patches in a week odd. It's what they're patching. It's like, oh, there's a patch. Cool. We don't. No one in Discord's talking about this. Like, well,
sure, yeah.
Like, I'm pleased things are getting fixed, but can I not be in pit road at the end of the race, or can you just make the menu work? So I worry there's an underlying bigger problem that they're
well, the fact that other thing was like, we think that if you tow back,
then it
messes up your next race, but we're not really sure how to fix it. Is a bit worrying.
Yeah,
like it should be by the time that you've written that, it should have been able to fix it. So.
Yeah, so, yeah, if some of the bugs are majorly inherent from the RF2 days, there's a lot of code there. It's very old. Not a lot of the devs are around from that period of time. Yeah. But what they have got working works really well. It's very fun. It's very busy. We're talking 4,000 people in the evenings. 3,500 people in the evenings. So many splits. It's unfathomable. And as I say, When it's working, big smiles, great fun. When it's not, very frustrating. I will be doing it some more, but I have to say, like, even me, sometimes it's a little testing because at the end of the day, I care utmost, obviously, about my enjoyment. Of course, that's what I founded the whole thing on. But I have to be doing something. I'm not actually going to play menus for an hour. And if I miss a race, I don't mind, oh, okay, and then we'll just practice and do the next one. But if I miss 2, that's an hour and a half of streaming with no racing. And it gets to a point where I have to make the call. Okay, no, because I'm not the menu guy. You know, I had comments like, every time I check in with you, you're on a menu. It's like, yep, come back in half an hour and see what I'm doing. But overall, I liked it. What did you think of it?
Well, I was disappointed by the rain. But yeah, like I said, I've
yeah.
enjoyed the driving and I like the online aspect of it. I like how competitive the online is. I quite like the system. It sort of encourages me to get just races in, whatever. Even if I'm not necessarily fast in the races, just banging those races to unlock stuff so I can get to silver, so I can race more stuff and eventually get into gold so I can race even more stuff. And I think it's a nice system. And I was skeptical of the lack of iRating. But you know what? I think it works all right with how it does. So no, I haven't driven a whole lot more of it, honestly. But yeah, I'm just scared after driving it rain on it that iRacing rain is going to be rubbish as well. So I'm just hoping.
Nick Corn in chat. What do we think Season 2 iRacing will do to the
I was thinking this earlier on. I don't know why I didn't bring it up. I think I forgot about it. But yeah, this is a very good point from Nick saying, yeah, with rain coming to iRacing and with Sebring 12 hours coming up on iRacing, are we going to see the viewer base just drop? I mean, we should appreciate that not everyone drives iRacing who is on Le Mans Ultimate. You have got people from other sims coming across, but it could take a dent.
Well, obviously, fact 1, iRacing rain has to be good.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
But like I feel like us two are examples.
Yes.
You're not going to be driving LMU next week. You're going to be driving iRacing.
That hasn't been confirmed, but it's true.
Yeah. And in 3 weeks' time, you won't be driving LMU. You'll be driving iRacing because of Sebring.
I'd like my lawyer present for these up. Yeah, I think it is going to hit it. They need to get they know they need to get the bugs fixed in the next couple of days, especially the game breaking ones for the menus and everything. It's going to take a hit, but I do feel like a lot of this audience isn't iRacers.
Yeah, you're right.
Because
I mean, there's not 3,500 iRacers, are there? So there's got to be other people, right?
if you're coming from console world, or if you're coming from Formula One world, if you're coming from AC, or iRacing's really expensive, and I think, I mean, who's iRacing? Like, this is a Le Mans game. You know what a Formula One game is. You know what it's a Le Mans game. People, like, it's got an associative name. People know what it is. But yeah, I think I take a dent. But none of the RF2 guys and ACC guys and AC guys play iRacing. No way. So the Michi Hoyers, they're that side of the world. And that's been the most fun thing about Le Mans Ultimate really is meeting the two worlds coming together a bit.
Yeah.
The ACC drivers, the RFX drivers, and the iRacers being on track at the same time. Very strange. And sorry, I had 2 facts. 1, iRacing rain to be good. And B, let's not get ahead of ourselves. There aren't many cars that are getting rain in iRacing. I'm not driving F4 in the rain, just to be clear, and in officials.
That sounds so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the craziness already.
Yeah.
Imagine like Phillip Island going into like the hairpin. And it's just, you got wet grass and someone dips a wheel. And, yep. All right, I'll head off now. Car's still sliding across it. I mean, it's unsavable at that point.
So yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe a lot of the lower rated drivers aren't going to like rain. You hear that, like rain, like being like a coin flip. People excited, and the other people like just keep it away. So let's see.
We'll see. I mean, obviously next week when it comes to iRacing rain, everyone's going to start on it. Well, it will either go 2 ways. Either people will start loving it and then they'll go off it, or they'll start loving it and they'll keep on loving it. Basically, what I'm saying is that either way, and whenever so the worst example was when the W13 was added, the Mercedes F1 car, and there was a bunch of streams in the first few days saying this is the most accurate F1 car in history. This like takes sim racing up to a new level. This could be, a massive breakthrough for Formula 1 cars and sim racing. And then within 3 days, people are like, don't really like driving it. No. It's not realistic at all. Goes 5 seconds faster than the real life thing. There's no turbulent air. The energy usage isn't realistic, and it's not fun to race. So no one's going to do it.
Do you know what's going to be the one? I've thought about all this. The one game-breaking feature of iRacing that if they do this, I will be beyond this. I think it would be worse than what we have now. Is if because they're saying sometimes what they say and what we get are alternate realities. If the weather is predictable from all series long. Now, I know they've confirmed not, but I'm just worried that the variations are going to be small. Like,
Sure.
it will start dry, and after 7 to 9 minutes, it will rain. And the rain will stay there for 7 to 11 minutes. And then it'll be dry. And then, so you do your first race, you make some strategy change calls, and then the next race, you adjust it a little bit. By race 7, you've got Siri alarms. You're like, oh, okay, it's pit for...
Yeah. Sure.
Like, if it gets like that, no, I'm not interested. I'm not playing story time. That's not racing. So I hope the variation is proper. Like, the cloud should either start over you, should start so far away they never reach you.
And I think they will do that because they already do that sort of already. You know, you can have a race where it starts clear. You can have a race where it starts overcast. It's not always the same thing. You know?
It's close, though.
Sure.
It's like a degree or two.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be so bad if... Yeah, imagine you're jumping into a Thursday official thinking, oh, let's go, adapt to the weather. And there's everyone you're racing with, it's like, there's no adapting. We're pitting on that 8.
Yeah. Imagine if it, in chat, rather than, kind of have a set of guys like, what lap does it rain, guys? It's like, lap 8, mate. Yeah, sure. Cheers, man.
Yeah, that will be worse than what we have.
Yeah. Let's move on. I think I'm sure we'll come back to iRacing at some point. F1 23, the 24 liveries have been released. So I think this is the first time that the F1 games have done this, where you can now run the 2024 liveries on the 2023 game for the new season.
Weird. Is it like an apology for anything they've done wrong recently?
To be
weird.
Fair, yeah.
How's F1 Esports
That's
doing
like
anyway?
an obvious thing to do today. It's like the fact that it's taken them 13 years to be like, you know what, we should probably have the relevant liveries on the cars, and say that's what they've done. Also, release date for F1 24, 31st of May. Is that quite early? Or am I just old and I remember the times where it used to be released in September?
It's early.
Sure.
It's almost like they've...
It's almost as though they have a big esports competition that they need a new platform for, which fixes the game-breaking...
It's almost like this contract that can't be signed by either side, and the only way to get out of it would be to conveniently release a new game bypassing the contract that no one's going to sign.
Sure, yeah.
F1 Esports in shambles, chat, and anyone listening. And they're hoping to get F1 24 out so they can restart it. It's a big shame.
It'll be about 18 months, won't it? Well, to be fair, we did have a race in December, but we haven't had a proper season for over a year now, I believe.
I think a whole 11 people watched it.
The event that actually happened.
Yeah,
they didn't promote it, which didn't help. But the broadcast is really good.
Yeah, but no one watched it. We found out after it was broadcasted.
Yeah, I don't know. How many views? I reckon it had 500,000 views.
It's had a lot of views. Now, it's...
Yeah. Because probably people heard...
Well, then it's been in the news, about this esport event that took... well, it's not dead, it's just the new deal.
Nick Horn's asking, is F1 Esports officially dead? No, it'll come back, because it has to come back. It's too lucrative a thing.
It can't be dead. It's just... I think it's just tied up with this new... So who was it with? It was with...
I can't remember what their name is. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. They were with someone for quite a long time and it worked well. Taking a new deal with ESL, and then something happened to do with... I believe it was...
Well, no one knows.
Yeah. Well,
but
I don't know what I'm meant to know. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we don't... Yeah.
All I care about, and all me and Sam are angry about, is what the drivers are going through.
Yeah.
Because some of these people have given up educations, given up their jobs, given up where they live in the world. Some people moved for internet ping. You realise this?
Yeah.
So people have given up a lot. Families have dedicated...
drivers from was it Indonesian driver?
Yeah, moved. So these people have worked very hard to get to the tippity top. And now at the moment, all they do is try and stream to make money, and enter leagues to earn prizes.
Yeah.
Because there is no F1 esports.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not called F1 esports.
It's F1 sim racing.
F1 sim racing. Believe it or not.
Even though I think the official Twitter page is still called F1 Esports.
It's almost like no one logged in or changed it because there is no deal.
There was no employees.
Correct. There's no one there. Yeah. It's called F1 sim racing.
Yeah, Stefano Domenicali having to go on the Twitter account, asking what the password is, posting all of the stuff.
So no, I think I can share the rumor I heard. It's not from, it's not from a source I know. It was just a rumor I heard. Was that the deal broke down with the teams because they weren't going to cover travel.
Oh yeah. I can't remember who made the YouTube.
So
video
no
on it,
media guys, no race engineer. You would have to pay, and I mean, if you win F1 sim racing, you get good money. But there's a lot of teams. Not everyone can win, and you've got to fly to all these different LAN events with 4 or 5 star flight, hotel, and I mean,
and you've got to organise it as well. Like, what a pain that is to organise your own hotel for a sporting competition.
Yeah. So, and this had never been this way. So there was this just stalemate with the teams of ESL and F1, where the teams are probably, I'm guessing the rest, but the teams are probably telling ESL, look, you can't do that. And ESL can't to F1, and F1 will be like, sorry, who's calling? We don't care. Like, just sort it out or don't. And it's just been a breakdown. And then it was just radio silence, and that was the worst bit. And then drivers were afraid to say anything because they didn't want to be fired from the team, and they didn't want to upset their sponsors. Sponsors are almost like sending money thinking, wait, why are we sending you money? Are you guys going to race?
Yeah.
And it was just this awkward radio silence. And again, the biggest thing I care about, I could care less about the actual competition. I care for the drivers and all the hard work and the teams, and yeah, it's a joke.
Yes. But hopefully, summer this year, it will be back. Maybe some announcements coming up in the next few months. I don't know. Or maybe it is dead, and maybe we're being too optimistic.
Hope not.
I think that pretty much covers the sim racing news. Not that we'll probably come back to iRacing Rain though still. And yeah, so we'll move on to the other Apex branded stuff. Apex Racing League, of course, there's still an opportunity to sign up to Apex Racing ACC Challenge. That starts on Tuesday, so visit apexracingleague.com. Tuesdays from 20 GMT, the racing starts.
And that's going to be Apex's first ever ACC competition.
Exactly, yes. So do sign up. It's a free series, so go over to apexracingleague.com. And yeah, if you've got ACC downloaded on your drive, may as well give it a go. We've also got Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup starting soon. And again, you can sign up to that on apexracingleague.com. And that is a 12-round series, Friday nights. Just before this podcast, actually, it will be starting. So, yes, do check that one out. Can't remember what this one was. Oh, no, don't look at that. So, yeah, do check out Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup and check out the ACC challenge as well. Not really much updates when it comes to Apex Racing Simulators, but just a reminder that, of course, you can get both Cube Control stuff and you can get Who's Involved stuff. And
That's
you can get VRS
good word, by the way. Stuff.
Yep. All from Apex Racing Simulators, which is quite cool.
It's very cool.
Just go on to Apex Racing apexracingsim.com and you can see all the shiny sim racing equipment that you can buy. That's Cube Controls, Who's Involved, and VRS.
That's pretty much my life cycle of equipment. Who's Involved, went through the Sprints, the Ultimates, the Ultimate Plus, had the Cube Wheel, CSX2, and now all the VRS gear.
Yep. I mean, it's pretty much, you're not going to get much better stuff than that stuff. So, again, I love the word stuff.
You're done with stuff that's too many times now.
Yeah, I like to think that I don't repeat the same words too much. I'm a dynamic guy, but I am repeating myself now. Let's talk about Apex Racing Team, shall we?
Busy weekend coming up as well.
Well, what happened last week? First up.
There was no PESC. There was no DNLS.
So I actually forgot to make notes on this as well. There's a couple of really good videos from our Daytona meetup on the Apex Racing
yeah.
team social media
Instagram.
accounts, and there's a few more coming as well. We've got one which is higher or lower iRacing, which you've seen, and it's a really good video. I'm really pleased with how they come out because generally, the academy guys and the team guys, they're just nice people and they're very funny and in front of a camera. So do keep an eye out on the Apex Racing team's social medias for more of that.
Yeah, there's quite a few. Guess the track, guess high or low iRating.
There's a bunch that we did. We did like car sounds. We did guess the track by the steering inputs. But I'm not sure if we'll edit all of them, but we'll edit the best ones. And yeah, I think the guess the track were really good. I came up with the track screenshots, and I was really pleased with how difficult they were.
I think it was the best part, mate. Yeah, you nailed it.
Thank you so much. The thing is, it makes the video, right?
Correct.
Like, I think if it's too easy, if it's too hard, it's not fun. But I've enabled the fun. I'm a fun enabler.
A fun enabler. There you go.
Last week there was PEC GB.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Luke did very well, P2 and P5, P5 and P2. So good points for them. I think they're still behind Job, but I think they're like a solid second and third in the championship. So just more points for Pete and Luke obviously in particular doing so well, and Pesk really doing very well. So that was really all that happened last week. But this week we have got two big events. We've got DNLS coming up. Championships are at stake. We've got the GT3 car with Kevin and Elias racing.
What a team.
And also JV racing with Jordan Johnson as well. Kevin Elias, not a brilliant chance at winning the championship. Unfortunately, with the way that the drop scores have worked out, it means that they've got a bit of catching up to do. So I think they've got a bit of pressure off and they really want to win this last round and end the season on high.
Yeah, I saw Kev doing some laps today. It's nice to see him back in the... for me, it's nice to see him back driving iRacing. Obviously, I loved his Rennsport stuff, but yeah, it's nice to see. I wasn't stalking him, I just stood behind him for 10 minutes, watch him.
Sure.
Trying to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good livery. It's our Nick Horn's complimenting the livery in chat. It's our MSI Mercedes livery.
Yep. Yes. There's also PES coming up this weekend, and it is a different format.
Yeah, just to say the least.
Where did they? Oh, was it the PES? Do PES have their own
Porsche Motorsport? Porsche Sport?
Oh,
Porsche Races.
Porsche
Races.
Porsche Races.
I think's the handle. Oh no. Go try Twitter then. Porsche Races on Twitter. I'm pretty sure that's the handle. Yeah, there you go. If it was shared, it would be there.
Yeah, so basically we're going to show you the...
Oh, come on.
No, this is all real life stuff. This isn't... Oh, they showed a graphic which like nicely demonstrated the...
I think iRacing. It's iRacing.
I think it was iRacing.
It's iRacing, not Porsche. Yeah.
We were overcomplicating it.
Correct. It was iRacing. That seems more obvious now.
No, it wasn't. Oh, wait, no, maybe it was. Sorry. This is an absolute shambles. But here it is. Here's the format. 3-lap heat races, 6 drivers each. Heat 1, Heat 2, Heat 3, Heat 4, Heat 5. Top 2 drivers move to feature. These are 2.5-minute races because it's the shortest lap of the season. Then,
3-lap races.
Then we move on to consolation, 8-lap race, 20 drivers. Top 5 progress. That's going to be manic and feature race as well. I like the fact that they've realised, oh, hang on, heat racing is definitely the way to go.
And then they went with 3 laps.
And then they went with a really bad take on it. But they're moving in the right direction, at least. Obviously, everyone knows they should just take the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup system of, if you have 30 drivers, have 2 heats, 15 drivers each, top maybe 8 move through from each heat.
Yep.
Let's go into the B final, have a 14 car or however many car B final, top 4 go through, 20 car A final. Nice and fun.
Yep.
Easy. But they're moving in the right direction.
They're trying to combat the Rennsport mid-season
I don't think it's even combat. I think it's like the people who run it are like, oh, there's other formats rather than just doing 2 races
Yeah.
while then being over. And to be fair, I guess they copy the real life, don't they? That's sort of part of the reason why they do how they do. But
yeah. Alan in chat, so we're going to watch those terrible streamers going at it again for Pest All-Stars again. Yes,
yeah,
and
that's
Nick
the
Corn.
one that people care about.
Correct, that's the one that matters, yeah. And Nick Corn saying same format for the All-Stars. No, because, yeah, no. It's 2 races, 4 reverse grid on the
Well,
second.
you'd all get through into the feature, wouldn't you? How many of that are you? 20?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 4 corners. That's all there is 4 corners.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm going to quali well. I'm going to finish strong. And I don't want to talk about the second race.
Yeah.
It's pretty much how it's been.
No, I think you're playing yourself down because I think being at the back for the start of the second race might be the place to be. And that's where you're going to be because you're going to do one in race 1.
Thank you. Yeah, I need a bit of luck, man.
Yeah.
So
where are you in the championship?
Will I win it?
No, where are you in the championship?
I stopped looking after. I was so demoralised, like because my practice pace, my quali pace is right up at the front, the tippity top, and race 1s are going really well as well. And yeah,
But
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I do on race 2. I've tried being safe. I've tried being aggressive. I've tried everything, and once you're totally out over the both races, I'm just not scoring enough points.
Sure.
Finishing 5th and 7th is far better than my strategy. It's difficult for my brain to work out. I think if I'd have just had coffee and missed quali and first races all the time, just turned up in the ring and gone, oh, I'm starting from pole, okay, and pick up 25 points, I'd be way ahead of myself by now. And I can't bring myself to do that.
No.
Next season.
Keep pushing because eventually the gates will open and you'll move through everyone on lap 1 in race 2. So keep going at it.
Thank you. We'll try.
I think that's Apex Racing team covered. So yeah, do check out the Apex Racing team social media. We've got some good content actually coming out next week as well in relation to the DNLS series. There's also Apex Racing TV. Not many highlights, unfortunately, this week. I'm not even sure if this race took part last week, but this is the Radical Sim Racing and just some more Mega Racing. We saw some highlights from this last time.
Is this Monza without the chicane, I hope?
Monza without the chicane.
As I say, they're going to grip.
Last week we saw some clips of the European Championship, and this is the Americas Championship, and it's pretty intense as well.
Wow. What? No.
I haven't actually looked this far into the replay. I'm not sure how this ends. Oh, it ends well. There you go. That's a nice one.
Wow.
Next clip. This is another turn 1.
Feels good to get that move done, but guess what? You're a sitting duck now to the draft.
And this will be coming back in, I think, about a week. Oh, come on.
Past Benelli after all the work he did to get that position.
Number 8 finds a gap.
He's going to lose it all here before we get down to turn 3.
Vieira in the grass.
Oh, he just gets past.
I think he'll be able to clear the both of them.
This is what the Watkins Glen draft's going to be like because there's no bus stop.
Podium places once again, but it's still not over. You can see Denarine going for a move here, going into the chicane, and he gets it done. I think he might overbreak himself. He did. Contact boys here. Oh,
wow.
I saw a very shallow entry there from the P4.
Every time I see this car, I think I have to drive this.
I think the draft now is really powerful in it. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've seen it on this format a lot, but it was really powerful. One last clip. This one doesn't end so well. There's maybe a bit of a somber note to in the replays.
In the chicane the first time.
I just found this funny, these steering inputs.
There's a lot of stuff going on there on that lap 1. I feel bad for our producer Josh, who has to be like a chameleon looking at 8 different things at once.
Oh, mate, wait.
Yeah, very rough stuff here again down here in heavy traffic.
Yeah, he just
the absolute just left, like no, all left, no. Oh no, I've gone on the grass. This is even worse. Wipe out 5 drivers.
Oof.
This what I mean. I don't want to be mean to Cedric, but this is some bad driving from Cedric. I mean, they start braking there, still on the power. Now he starts braking, and he should have turned right rather than left.
Well, Yeah, I mean,
heavy
right probably
traffic.
wouldn't have occurred. We've all been there. All he was thinking about was the guy to the right. Got a brake lane, got a brake lane, and him got a brake lane. Oh, I have looked forward and I thought, oh no.
Yeah. No, you're probably right.
Oh
actually. Yeah.
no. Imagine this in the rain. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking that actually. Imagine Monza without the first chicane in the rain, in anything, in like V8 supercars.
But I'm
or
just
something.
excited. You talk about Monza rain, the Lesmos, the inside curb and the outside curb,
Yeah,
right?
it should work well.
Yeah. So now if you click, you can have. Yeah, and then you could be going out to curve thinking, no, and if you catch it with 2 tyres, probably okay. Catch it with just the rear, bam.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I can't wait. If rain's good. If rain's good.
If rain's good. That's going to be the question, eh? Maybe we should name the title for the next episode already. That is rain good.
Is
on
rain good?
iRacing.
Sounds very cave speak.
Yeah, but yeah. It's incredible stuff, eh? I mean, let's not undersell this, right? I've been on iRacing since 2016.
Yeah.
The game's been around since 2008, available. It's been developed since 2004, and we're literally a few days away
Papaya?
from arguably the biggest update ever.
Yeah, agreed.
And it is massive. I mean, if it is just a decrease of grip by 30%, then it's going to be the biggest damp squib of all time. But it could also be the best rain model we've ever seen in sim racing.
Hot take. Are we getting the vet in a couple of days?
Well, apparently it got leaked. Someone was saying in the YouTube chat right at the start.
What?
Did you guys see IMSA leaking the?
I saw a comparison between iRacing and a vet. Yeah, I didn't think it was a leak. There, iRacing versus IMSA.
What is that?
The C8R.
Oh, is that the one that we're getting, or is that the existing one? We've already got a.
Yeah, the
Corvette.
C8R is the GTE, right?
Okay.
Hold on. I assumed. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the current one. Yeah.
Yeah, the GTE. I did find it. Had a suspicion that we're getting one of them, and then I saw this video and I felt like, what are they marketing here? Did IMSA just casually drop that?
Yeah, I'm reading the comments now.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't a very reliable news source when we're getting our information from Instagram comments. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, compared to rain, does it matter?
I'd love this. I saw this the homologated GTE take part in the Daytona.
Actually, yeah.
Take part in the Daytona 24 when I was there. So I actually got to see this car compete as a GT3.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'd love to see this car in GT3s. Yeah, I want a Ford Mustang, but yeah, please let me get the vet. I'd love to drive this car.
Should probably listen to the sounds. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I said hot take. I had a feeling one of them was coming. Ever since they dropped the Macca and Ford from that list, my brain's been like...
Someone said, Jack Star sent me an image that apparently they amended the image and they had the tracks added. They had the cars added.
No.
To the graphic, yeah.
No.
I'll go onto my Discord and...
It's over then. Maybe someone just...
Jack's actually messaged me during the thing. Oh, thank you, Jack, if he's watching along. Where did Jack... Oh, here we go.
No. Yeah, but someone just made that, hopefully. Someone could have just made that.
But it's got the iRacing logo.
Oh, yeah.
This
How
is
would
the
you
image-
Photoshop that?
This is an image they shared on Facebook when rain was finally confirmed and republished with a new image.
Wait. Jack saying that was Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, then it's over. We're not getting the vet.
This is the image, by the way, that he was sharing.
No. Someone's made that. Surely. Who uses Facebook anyway? Oh, it's over then.
Oh, wow.
Well-
You're really upset.
I mean, that could mean the vet still, because it could confirm we're not getting the Mustang, having the old Ford there. So maybe.
But why can't it just be 2 extra cars?
Because money. Why would they ever do that? Why would they let them share the limelight? They don't. iRacing just don't do that. They're like, what we promise you, exclusivity for a year. We'll bop you so well, everyone has to buy you. And then they'll do the same deal with Mustang. Like, you see that vet? Yeah. Well, we've got all their money. We're going to crush that car and make the Mustang.
Oh, yeah.
That's the iRacing way.
Yeah.
So why would you release 2 cars at once? How do you make that promise?
Sure. Yeah.
That's sad news. Well, that means Spa 24 gets rain. That means...
I mean, I feel like you're really jumping.
Well, I'm confused.
These are small things. And you're like, oh, yeah, well, this event in 6 months is definitely going to be like this.
Well,
like,
it was confusing because without the Ford and the Macca, it was confusing for... I mean, it meant IMSA was getting rain for sure, but was VRS fixed? Because there was this question, if the Ford and Macca are going to be there, are we not getting rain in those? And we're not getting rain at Spa? Because Spa's all GT3s. On the flip, was it that you're going to archive the 2 cars, but then why would you keep them for years and archive them in such a horrible way by just not giving them rain? Or are you giving us the Mustang and Vet? So there was these 3 things.
You play chess, and I feel like I'm playing chess against you, where I'm looking at like my queen, and I'm like, should I move that queen there? And you are just 14 moves ahead of me.
Too many though. I've lost my own thought train. Lost my thought train.
But you're probably right. But yeah, I just think car might be released, and yeah, I don't think beyond that. Anything else that you wanted to say before we sign off?
No, obviously I'm excited to try the rain. Obviously we'll be discussing it next week, how it all feels. Oh, one thing to mention. It's a small thing, but it's worth mentioning. The next week evening, like 6 o'clock, I think, the first round of the new IndyCar thing is kicking up at Sebring.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, I didn't realise I was coming up so soon. I should do that.
Yeah, I would like to do that. We can do it before the podcast.
Yeah. I might jump into the broadcasted Radical race, actually, the official series.
Oh.
Next week. I don't know.
Nice.
It depends when we do the podcast.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. But no, yeah, excited for rain. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. The first thing that's important is not the graphics and all getting ooh-ah about the screenshots and FPS losses. Does it work?
Yeah, does it work? Is a casting line?
Is rain good?
Is puddles? Are puddles a thing? Yeah. So yeah, we will be back next week. We'll be chatting about that rain stuff a lot, I'm sure. Of course, all you guys are going to be jumping on it and have fun with it as well. And fingers crossed that this is a successful update for iRacing, and it is the rain that we want, because it's a massive update and a massive event to see if it works or not. We'll be back then with the late Apex next week, same time, and yeah, do watch us then. Goodbye. We'll see you next week.